I'm Grant from GoFast here with Devon, who's got one of the best 3rd-gen Tacoma purpose-built GoFast rigs that I've seen.
Oh, wow.
So can we walk through this thing?
Yeah,
and
of course, man.
Learn about how you build it out. So starting with the truck, what year is this thing?
It's a 2017
TRD Offroad?
Mm-hmm.
Sick, with the 3.5 V6.
Mm-hmm.
Before we hop into the camper build on the back, what do you have going for wheels, tires, and suspension on this?
It's got 2.5 Kings with the Total Chaos upper control arms. Got the SCS rim, 16-inch.
Yep.
315s.
Yeah, the
KO2s.
offset is like perfect.
Oh yeah,
like just enough poke.
Love the negative 25. It's perfect.
With the goal of this, like you got a much bigger tire than stock. You've got a much bigger shock package than stock in the Total Chaos UCA. What's the intention behind this build? What are you trying to be able to accomplish off-road with this?
It's just like for comfort, and it's like a little bit overbuilt. So when I go out with my family, I feel like confident the truck's just not gonna get stuck somewhere. I can air down, a little more of a comfy ride.
Yeah, and the 315s, that's like a 35. Does that rub?
Yeah, it rubs a little bit. You just
like a full lock?
You can't get away from it unless you like fully tub the wheel well.
Yeah. So you did the body mount chop?
Yeah.
And the fender clearance?
Yep. It's cut up, and then I actually have been just trying out these new fender liners. I like it better than having to cut a hole for a snorkel and all that.
So kind of keeping with the overbuilt vibe here, I see you got a ton of armor on the truck. So starting with the sliders, you've got front and rear bumpers as well. So tell me where like the sliders come from and kind of the bumper details.
Yeah. So the sliders are actually the old Pelfrey built stuff.
Yep.
You can see they've been on there a long time.
Totally. Yeah, and you live in California, so they can lose powder coat and still not rust.
You know, I just take them off and spray paint them every decade.
Yeah. And then front C4?
Yeah, C4, front bumper, Baja design lights.
You got a winch in there too?
Got a winch. I've used it a couple times.
Yeah, half the time, whenever I have a winch on a truck, I'm usually pulling someone else out.
Usually.
Yeah.
That's how I've used it.
Very infrequently self-recovery.
Yeah.
And what's on the back here?
On the back, I got the Warfab bumper. I really like it. It's pretty lightweight, pretty simple.
And then obviously we've got the GFC V2. This is an early one, right?
This is the early V2. It's my second one.
Yep.
I had the V1 at number 70.
Yeah,
I'm very proud of. So yeah, I love the camper. It's just perfect for this truck.
So I also see a lot of big blue King stuff in the back. So tell me about what's going on in the rear suspension.
This is the Total Chaos, the spring underkit.
Yeah.
And it's got the triple bypass on the back with the shock relocation and air bumps. I think it's good. It keeps the center of gravity low. Yep. Good for SoCal trucks. You can drive fast in the desert.
So let's pop this camper open and talk about how you use it.
Yeah, sure.
So it might not look like it, but we're actually very close to downtown LA. What's your goal with building like kind of this go fast off-road rig and living in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I definitely do take it outside of the city, and it's a great escape. But in the city, it's very functional. Like I can throw all of my kids' baseball stuff in the back. I can put the cooler back there, the fridge, have all my fishing stuff secure. One reason I opted for no windows. Yep. People can't see the stuff that's inside of my truck, and I haven't had any issues at all security-wise in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously a pretty Spartan build out, just simple, minimalist and clean. You've got the bed rug and the mountain hatch tailgate cover.
Yeah.
So you've got that, you've got your spare kind of tucked away in the back here, and then a Pro Eagle mount as well.
Yeah. Yeah, those are both mounted back there. I was really adamant about not putting a swing out on this truck, mainly because I use this truck every day, and I do go in and out of the back like just constantly all day.
100%.
So for me, this is like an ideal setup.
So you've got the Josh Edgar propane mount?
Yes.
The Mr. Buddy setup. How does that work for heating the back space back here? And I see you also have a smoke CO2 or carbon monoxide detector?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's enough. I live in an area that's pretty much warm the whole year. So on those couple cold nights, I'll just turn it on, heat up the camper before we go to sleep, and then I'll usually shut it off.
And then you've also got some lights in here too, it looks like.
Yeah, so this is all pre V2 Pro release. I actually resisted lighting for years. I was like adamant against it because I'm like more simple. Like I don't want a lot of gadgets in my truck.
Yep. Totally get that.
And honestly, once I put that in, it was a game changer. Dude, I love it.
That's one of those things where it's like, when you don't have the interior camper lighting, you're kind of like whatever. Like, I don't use the lights that I bought on the outside of my truck that often anyway, so like, why would I use the inside? And then you put these inside and it's like game over.
And it's all hardwired into the second battery.
Cool. So you have a double battery under the hood setup?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 2 Odyssey batteries up there,
Yep.
and a Red Arc.
And then you ran the power system back here into that factory little
Yes.
storage box?
Yes.
Again, living in LA, being able to get out. I mean, how often do you spend on trips when you're going out?
I do a lot of short trips, to be honest. Like, I'm just trying to escape. So I'll like pack up the truck Thursday, pick my kid up from school on Friday, and we'll just drive straight to the desert.
Yep.
You
You spend
know?
the weekend out there?
Yeah, pick up some In-N-Out, light a fire, you know, just
Totally.
relax, and then go run the truck real hard in the morning,
Yeah.
and then come back in time for baseball. So
Yeah.
I do a lot of that.
Have you tried other camping setups, and kind of how does that compare to using this setup?
Yeah, I totally did. I actually rented a Sprinter van, like fully decked out, drove it to Montana on a Yellowstone trip with my family, and absolutely hated it. I thought I would be really stoked on it,
Yep.
but when I was driving it down dirt roads, it didn't drive like my truck.
Yep.
And it had a shower and a bathroom, and it took up so much space that I wasn't used to.
Yes.
I just wanted more space for my gear.
Yeah.
More space for my float tubes, more space for fishing stuff, biking stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, this works out way better.
Yeah, and like in my experience, until you get into a setup that's like actually big enough, maybe 30 feet long, to get like a compartmentalized bathroom that doesn't just nuke the whole space if
Yeah.
you use it. And even then, it's still debatable. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're still gonna stop at a truck stop.
Yeah.
But like that setup, there's a lot of compromises with like ownership and having to find a place to park it, and winterize it, and
Absolutely.
it's like owning an RV.
It is an RV, really.
Yeah, I think that's cool to hear because like the Go Fast was intended to be something that you don't have to think about. Like you can kind of leave it on the back of your truck and like you can go on that spontaneous overnight trip. You don't have to worry about like de-winterizing your rig.
Yeah.
And this isn't an RV, and like it's not trying to be.
Yeah.
In my experience, unless you like get into a setup that's like truly like hard wall insulated against the winter, like unless you want to go sit outside by the campfire in the snow, which I think some people are into,
Yeah.
it's cold
It is.
and it gets dark early.
It is. Yeah, I spend a lot of time outside the camper, like
Yep.
around. I don't stand inside that much. You know, I go in there to sleep, or if it's raining, sometimes I'll put the awning on the side and pull it out. But I'm still at the point where I really enjoy like the outdoor element of it. I like how this just kind of works. It's just enough for me.
Yeah, totally. Dude, Devon, thanks for taking the time to give us the tour. How can people follow along and see your adventures?
My Instagram's at Mutual Aid Rig.
Okay, that's the best place is Instagram?
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you guys want to see anything else build-wise or different types of builds or have any suggestions or feedback, hit us up in the comments. See you out there.